Well, hello geometers and seekers of truth. In this video, we will study some theorems that are related to transversals cutting to other lines. So here I have three lines F, G, and H. And the first thing we're going to do here is just label some of the angles that are in this picture. Angle 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, keep in mind, these numbers here are not the measures of the angles. They're just the names of the angle. Okay, so the measure of angle 1, we don't know, but we're going to name this angle here, angle 1. And we're going to start this off with what's called the corresponding angles postulate. And it says something like this. If and only if, and my abbreviation for if and only if is two F's here. If and only if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the corresponding angles are congruent. Okay. So using our specific case here with this picture that we have drawn, I can give you a couple of quick examples here of what this postulate is effectively saying. Okay, so it's saying that, and if all you have to do is name any two corresponding angles, in this case we'll just go with angle 1 and angle 5. And what we can say is that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5 if and only if the two lines here are parallel. If and only if line F is parallel to line G. Okay? And notice here this is a biconditional, so that means if the lines are parallel, the corresponding angles are congruent, and if the corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. And it's really hard to prove this statement here. And some textbooks will call this a theorem, but I'm calling this a postulate. And the reason I call this a postulate is this is very similar to, and I can show you in some separate videos, that this is actually equivalent to Euclid's fifth postulate. Okay? So if you look at Euclid's fifth postulate and what this is saying, they are saying basically the same thing. If we assume that Euclid's postulate is true, then we can prove this statement. And if we assume this statement is true, I can definitely prove Euclid's fifth postulate. So that hopefully kicks things off here. And there's other angles that are congruent in this picture too, right? There are other corresponding angles, but this is just one example of them. So for example, we can say that, we could say that like angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent because they're corresponding. Same with angle 4 and 8, and same with angle 3 and angle 7. So there's a lot that we can say, but I'm just using angle 1 and 5 here as one particular example. All right, so I'm going to end this video here, and we will start the next video on some proofs.